Similarly, every subject, biology, zoology, even in mathematics, fuzzy. Nowadays, every people, those who are knowing fuzzy, they are collaborate with the graph theory. Fuzzy graph exists. So, like the graph theory is a tool. It is a flexible tool. But only one condition: your problem can be consists of a discrete set, and there exists a relation between the elements of the set. So today I'm giving some example where we can apply graph theory, where I applied graph theory. I can give some example to you. It is not fixed one because it is a tool. We can change it. It is a flexible tool. Wherever we have the problem, we can use it. Already we have the algorithm to solve a problem. You can take algorithm and solve. Otherwise, you can make the algorithm. So before entering the application part, just I have to introduce the basic concept of graph. What is a graph? Graph is a diagram which consists of vertices and edges. So graph is a collection of vertices and edges. So it is a diagram which consists of vertices and edges. Vertices, some book they are following point, line, edges. Instead of edges, they can use a line also. So if I have one graph, then it consists of some vertices. The set of vertices, I can denote this by capital V, this is a notation. And the set of edges, we can denote by capital E. So E means set of edges of that particular graph. V means set of vertices of that graph. How many vertices are available and how many edges are available in the graph, easily we can find out. Usually, the number of vertices in the graph, according to chart, we denote by small n. And the number of edges in a graph is denoted by m. According to Harari, it is P and Q. Vertices, the number of vertices is denoted by P, and the number of edges is denoted by Q. Anyone we can follow. The notation not a problem. So I am following according to chart. The number of vertices is denoted by n, and the number of edges is denoted by m. So you can see this example. It is a graph. It's a diagram which consists of vertices and edges. So the vertex set, I'm giving the name of the vertices A, B, C, D like that. So there are 6 vertices available in this graph and 8 edges available, and hence n is 6 and m equal to 8. Now, what is the meaning of degree of the vertex? Any graph, it's containing vertex, how many edges incident with that vertex? We can identify easily the number of edges incident with that vertex is called degree of the vertex. So it is denoted by this notation, degree of V. So all the vertices we can find out the degree. Among the degree we can find out what is the maximum and the minimum. The maximum degree is denoted by capital delta, and the minimum degree is denoted by small delta. So in the above example, you have to see what is the degree of A. So there are 3 edges incident with this vertex A. So degree of A is equal to 3. What is the degree of D? 4 edges incident with this vertex D. So degree of D is 4. You can each and every vertex, we can find out the degree. So I'm writing here, degree of A is 3, degree of B equal to 3, degree of C equal to 2, degree of D is 4, degree of E is 3, degree of F is 4. So what is the maximum degree among these degrees? So it is 4. So for the above example, delta of G is 4. Capital delta, maximum degree is 4. Minimum degree, it is denoted by small delta, it is 1. So easily we can identify this. What is sum of degrees of all the vertices? Easily we can find out. So in the above example, sum of degrees is equal to 16. And how many edges available? 8 edges are available. What is the relation between these two? Sum of degrees and number of edges. So it is a fundamental theorem of graph theory, or it is a first theorem of graph theory, or it is a handshaking theorem. So any name we can call. Sum of the degrees of the vertices is twice the number of edges. So, and how many vertices are having odd degree? You can see in the previous example, degree of A is 3 odd number, degree of B is 3 odd number, degree of E is 3 odd number, and degree of F is 1 odd number. So there are 4 odd degree vertices. So in general, we can say number of odd degree vertices is even number. If degree of a vertex is 0, then we can call that vertex is an isolated vertex. So degree is 0 means that vertex is not, there is no edge adjacent with that vertex. So then it is called isolated vertex, degree is equal to 0. If degree is equal to 1, then that vertex is called pendant vertex. The vertex which is adjacent to pendant vertex is called a support vertex. The vertex adjacent to pendant vertex is called a support vertex. So in this example, there is no isolated vertex. So because the minimum degree is 1. So F, here degree is 1, no, this F is a pendant vertex. F is a pendant vertex. And this E is adjacent with the pendant vertex. This E is called a support vertex. Now you can see this example. In between these two vertices, here I am not giving the name, this vertex and this vertex, two edges are incident. In between these two vertices, there are two edges available, more than one edge available. So in between two vertices, if there are more than one edge, then that edges are called multiple edges. So here E1 and E2 are multiple edges. But you can think about this E5. So this is an edge, every edge having two ends. But this edge E5 has only one end. So this type of edge is called a self-loop. So self-loop is a edge with the identical end vertex. So now this graph is containing multiple edges E1 and E2 and a self-loop E5. This type of graph is called multigraph. But a graph without multiple edges and self-loop is called a simple graph. So the above example, this graph is not a simple graph. So what is a simple graph? This graph is a simple graph. This graph does not contain any multiple edges and self-loop. So this is a simple graph. So maximum in every research work, maximum we are thinking about simple graph. And it is a directed graph. Directed graph means each and every edge having direction. Okay, so this you have to see. This graph is called a directed graph. Every edge having direction. Now, what is the meaning of in degree and what is the meaning of out degree? The number of arrows, edges with direction, I call this by directed edge or arrows. So the number of arrows towards a vertex is called in degree. In degree is denoted by d minus of the corresponding vertex P. Similarly, the number of arrows going out from that vertex is called out degree, and the out degree is denoted by d plus of the corresponding vertex P. For example, you can see here, I'm considering the vertex A, only one arrow towards A, only one arrow towards A. So the in degree of A is 1. What is the out degree? How many arrows going out from A? So 3 arrows are available. So out degree d plus of A is equal to 3. And similar way, we can find out in degree of d equal to 3 and out degree of d equal to 0. So like that, we can find out in degree and out degree. What is the meaning of complete graph? Complete graph should be a simple graph. With every pair of vertices are adjacent. What is the meaning of adjacent vertices? There is a edge between the two vertices. So complete graph is a simple graph. It should be simple. With every pair of vertices are adjacent. So what is the degree of every vertex in a complete graph? Suppose a complete graph containing n vertices. What is the degree of any vertex? It is n minus 1. So what is the notation for complete graph? The complete graph with the n vertices denoted by kn. So you can have, this is a graph k4 because it containing 4 vertices and every pair of vertices are adjacent. And this example you can see it contains 5 vertices and every pair of vertices are adjacent. So it is denoted by k5 and it is the first graph is k4. So complete graph means every pair of vertices are adjacent and it should be a simple graph. Now we can think about connected graph. A connected graph means it contains only one component. So in this example, you have to see first example I'm giving for connected graph. So this graph contains only one component, only one piece. And the second example you can see disconnected graph. So consider this as a single graph. It containing 3 components. So it is a disconnected graph. Another way we can say for connected graph, there is a path exists. Previously complete graph means there exists a edge exists between every pair of vertices. Here there exists a path available between every pair of vertices. So here path available. Suppose I am taking this vertex and this vertex. So path available like this. Similarly, any pair of vertices we can find out a path. But this graph I am taking disconnected graph, second graph. I am taking this vertex and another vertex in another component. We cannot find out a path. Path means alternating sequence of vertices and edges. The vertex should be distinct. Okay, so this graph. So easy idea. Disconnected graph means it containing more than one component. Connected graph means it containing single component. This is the idea behind connected and disconnected graph. Now think about induced subgraph. So subgraph, before that we need a graph. So I'm considering this is a graph G. G is a graph. Okay, it containing some vertices. 7 vertices. And I have to take one subset S. S is a subset of vertex set V. So in this example, I am taking BDE. The set containing the elements or vertices BDE. It is a S. Using this vertex set S, I can draw the graph from this graph G. So I can plot B, D, E. Then what is the relation? B and E are adjacent. So here also adjacent. In the original graph G, B and D are adjacent. So here also adjacent. D and E are adjacent. Here also adjacent. So this is called induced subgraph, which is induced by S. And I denote this by this notation. Induced graph, which is induced by a set S, this notation. So in this example, this is the induced graph. Suppose H is another set which containing the vertices A, B, C, D. These 4 vertices available mean you can plot these 4 vertices. And what is the relation in the original graph G? You can draw here. A and B are adjacent, so we can join it. A and D are non-adjacent, so we don't join here. So this type of graph is called induced subgraph. What is the origin of graph theory? Who invented this graph theory? Before that, you have to consider this diagram. It is a well-known diagram. This graph, which consists of 4 vertices and some edges. It is not a simple graph. What is the question behind this? Can you draw this diagram, this graph, in a single surface without overlapping the lines or edges and no erasing the edges? So in a single surface, can you draw this diagram? It is a question for this graph. Is it possible, and why it is not possible? So this is a origin. So related with this graph, we are having another one. In 17th century, the city Königsberg, which having the river, the Brazil. In that river, 2 islands are available. The king of Königsberg wanted to construct the bridges like this. So this all green colored surface or land, this blue color is the river. Okay, so in between this upper region, upper surface to this big island, 2 bridges he constructed. And this island to this lower surface, lower land area, 2 bridges constructed. And this surface to this area, 1 bridge, and here 1 bridge, here 1 bridge. So totally 7 bridges constructed. The king of Königsberg had a doubt. A man stand in one particular place. After that, he is walking along all the bridges exactly one time, and he will come to the starting point. Is it possible or impossible? It's a question from the king. The question came to the Euler. Euler told that it is impossible. And he invented the theory, it is called the graph theory, and he became a father of graph theory. So it is one real-time problem and the time. How he converted into a graph. So real-time problem, how we can convert into a graph. So you can see this problem. This problem contains 4 land areas. So each and every land area we can fix a vertex. So set of vertices and cardinality of a vertex is 4, and it is a discrete set, no problem. So land area is converted into a vertex, and if there is a bridge between Two land areas mean we can join the corresponding vertices by an edge. So this is a concept. So real-time problem, we can convert into graph. So you can see we are getting the graph like this. So it is a graph of Konigsberg bridge problem. You can see the previous graph already I told you, and this graph. Concept is same. Can you draw this first graph in a single surface without overlapping or without erasing the line? Is it possible? And a similar question here also. So it is not possible. That is why the answer for the king of Konigsberg is impossible. Why it is impossible? What is the degree of this vertex? First graph. What is the degree of this vertex? It is 5. Degree of this vertex is 5. Degree of this vertex is 5. Degree of this vertex is 5. All the vertices are having odd degree vertices. Similarly, here you can see degree of this vertex is 3. Degree of this vertex is 5. Degree of this vertex is 3, and here 3. All the vertices are having odd degree. So all the vertices are having even degree, then the answer for the question from the king of Konigsberg is yes, otherwise no. So this is the origin of graph theory. After that, the researcher developed more problems. In that case, I'm giving one statement. This is one example. If there are n number of people in a group, then at least 2 of them have the same number of friends in that group. This is a statement. This statement is true or false. This is my question. If there are n number of people in a group, then at least 2 of them have the same number of friends in that group. This is one example. How we can convert this problem, this statement into graph, then we can find out the solution. N number of people available. So the set is a discrete set. Friendship, it is a relation. So relation available. So we can convert into graph. Before that, I'm assuming every people in that group are not having equal number of friends. I'm assuming reverse. Every people. So, for example, in place of n, for understanding purpose, I am taking 10 people. So 10 people, corresponding to 10 people, we can plot 10 vertices. Then 2 vertices should be adjacent when the corresponding people are friends. Otherwise, non-adjacent. So now we can have the graph. So we can plot 10 vertices corresponding to 10 people. 2 vertices are adjacent when we can join by an edge. If they are friends, then we can join. Suppose one vertex we have. What is the degree of that vertex in that graph? How many friends that people have? That number of degree available. So degree of the vertex is equal to number of friends for the corresponding person. What I assumed, every people having different number of friends. So let us assume, so there are 10 people available. So first person I have to see, I am assuming the first person having no friends in the group. So what is the degree of that vertex? Is 0. He has no friend. Now I have to consider second vertex. Second vertex, how many friends possible? 0 is not possible. If second person also having 0 friends, mean first and second having same number of friends. So second person should have at least one friend. So I'm assuming second person having one friend. So degree of the corresponding vertex is 1. So first person 0, first vertex degree 0, second vertex degree 1, similarly third vertex degree 2, fourth vertex degree 3, like that, 10th vertex degree is 9. Then only every persons or every members in that group having different number of friends. Okay, now we have to think about degree of first vertex is 0. Degree of second vertex is 1. Degree of third vertex is 2. Like that, degree of 10th vertex is 9. What is the meaning of degree of the 10th vertex? The 10th vertex should be adjacent with all other vertices. Is it correct? But first vertex is not adjacent to any vertex. But the 10th vertex is adjacent to remaining vertices. So we are getting the contradiction. So what the assumption is wrong. So this statement is true. If there are n number of people in a group, then at least 2 of them have the same number of friends in that group. So I have another one example. One businessman, he want to construct or he want to start a business. What type of business means? He want to construct the lab, medical lab, like RT scan or Bharat scan, Medal, like that. No, he want to construct the lab. So each and every place in a city construct a lab is expensive one. Instead of that, what he decided, only one particular place is constructing a lab, then people can come to that place. Only that much of money he has. But like in Chennai city, only one place means the people moving to that lab is very difficult, and the business automatically getting down. So instead of that, what he decided, only one place he constructed a lab, and some places he constructed or fixed a collection point, collection center. So some small test. Suppose we want to take the blood test or urine test, or like that, some test. They can collect the sample from the people and they can send to the lab, or evening time we can get the result. So collection center it can construct in different places and only one lab he has to construct. But the number of collection center is minimum, means the people cannot go frequently or easily. So instead of that, he is fixing one condition. So if I am living in your particular location, place, I can find out the collection center within 5 kilometers, like that. You can take 5 kilometers or 3 kilometers, 2 kilometers or 10 kilometers, no problem. In this example, I fixed. Okay, so I can find out the collection center within 5 kilometers. So maximum 5 kilometers I can, maximum 5 kilometers I can travel and find out the collection center. I can give my sample to the collection center. Evening I can get the result. Like so, in the city which containing some locations where we are fixed or located the collection center, where we are located the lab. For this, I'm giving one example. The question is same thing. So I have to take some 17 locations, A, B, C, D, up to Q. These are the locations in a city. The distance between These locations are given in this table. What is the meaning of this table? A is one location, B is another location. The distance between A and B is 4 kilometers. The distance between A and C is 6 kilometers. The distance between A and D is 7 kilometers, like that. So distance between every pair of location we can identify easily. So from this table, we can answer the question of that businessman, where he has to construct his lab and where he has to locate the collection center with the minimum number. Okay, this is a question 1. What is the minimum number of collection centers required, which satisfies the condition of the businessman, and where it will be located? So immediately what we have to think, is it possible to use graph theory for this problem? So location, in this example, 17 locations are available. So set of location I have to collect. So it is a discrete set. And what is the relation between the vertices or between the location? If one location and another location distance is less than or equal to 5 kilometers, then they are related. More than 5 kilometers, not related. So relation also exists. There is a relation we have. So using this discrete set, using this relation, we can draw the graph. So there are 17 locations available in this problem. So 17 vertices we can plot, and after 17 vertices, 2 vertices you have to consider. The distance between the first vertex location and the second vertex location is less than or equal to 5 kilometers. Then we can join by edge. Otherwise, don't join. So using this, we can have a graph like this. Okay, so in this graph,
I mean Napoleon's.
Give an example. I'm giving the table. No, from that table, I can draw the graph like this. In this graph, where we have to fix the collection center, you have to see the vertex E. Degree of the vertex E is 5. So suppose I'm fixing the collection center in the location E. So 5 location and plus E. So 6 location people can get the benefit. So first location, first center have to fix for E. Similarly, you have to see the second one, it is K. Then this I and J and even K, L, N, these peoples can get the benefit, that they can get the usage of this collection center. For M, you have to see the M, location M, we need whether L and M. Okay, so we can fix the collection center in either L and M. So in that case, I am fixing in L. Next, for N, they can get the benefit from K or L, no problem. For Q, you have to see this vertex Q. We can fix a collection center in P. And if we have collection center here, O and Q, they can go for the collection center which is available in P. Next, remaining only one I need, so it is in B. Now you have to see every people living in different location, they can move to the lab collection center. You can see from this diagram. So how many collection center required here? 5 collection center required. Where it is located in B, P, E, K, L. These are the places we can locate the collection center and where we can fix the lab. So maximum people utilize the lab easily mean which vertex having maximum degree. So the vertex E has maximum degree. So you can use E. You can construct the lab either in E or K. K also we can use. K also we can use in lab. So like that, we can convert our real-time problem into graph model. What is the name of this? What is the name of this? It is an example I'm giving. What is the name of this? So totally the vertex set which containing 17 vertices A to Q. So the set of vertices usually denoted by capital V. Capital V consists of the vertices A, B, C, D up to Q. And these blue color vertices you have to collect and form the set. That is denoted by S. So S is a set of blue color vertices. B, P, L, K, E. These are the vertices available in S. So what is the relation between this V and S now? Every vertex outside S are not available in S having at least one adjacent vertex in S. You can see every vertex not available in S means every black colored vertices in this graph is adjacent to at least one blue color vertices. So this is a relation here in this set satisfying the property like this. So set S satisfy the property. This type of set is called dominating set. This type of set is called dominating set. So what is the meaning of dominating set? The dominating set, yes, it is a subset of the vertex set. And every vertex outside S has at least one adjacent vertex in S. That type of set is called dominating set. So lot of dominating set we can find out for the any graph, among the dominating sets cardinality, which dominating set having minimum cardinality we can identify. That minimum cardinality is called a domination number and is denoted by gamma of G. The minimum cardinality of a dominating set. Lot of dominating set we can find out. So among these we can find out the minimum cardinality dominating set. The minimum cardinality is called domination number and we can denote this by gamma. So what is the answer for the question for the businessman? The corresponding graph you can find out the domination number. We have the location, using the location and using the distance we are drawing the graph. That graph we can find out the domination number. The domination number is the answer for the question for the business. Okay, so from this example I have to extend another one. Suppose the same idea, the people can get the benefit service from the collection center within 5 kilometers. At the same time, in one collection center, suppose some problem exists. So the workers not attend the collection center on the day, is absent. In that case, what do we have to do? So we are thinking about one collection center is available in one particular place for helping purpose. Within 5 kilometers from that collection center, we have another one collection center. So like this. So question is same thing. How many collection center required? The people can get the service within 5 kilometer distance. The first question. Second question also satisfying the first question condition. And extra one question, within 5 kilometer distance from every collection center, we can find out another one collection center for helping purpose. In this case, how we are developing the domination theory. So you have to see, supposing this is a graph already we have. And these blue color vertices are available in the dominating set, yes, and gamma of G equal to 5. Gamma of G equal to 5. So suppose here E is a collection center within 5 kilometer K. We have another collection center. For K within 5 kilometer, we have two collection centers. For L can get the service or help from K. But you can see this B and P. P within 5 kilometer, there is no collection center. And B also within 5 kilometer, there is no collection center where we are getting the help. So in that case, I am fixing one collection center in O. Then B can get the service help from O and P also get the help from O. So extra one collection center. So now this set yes, which containing blue color vertices, which satisfying the question requirement for the businessman. But what is the name? Is it a dominating set? Yes, it is a dominating set. But what is the extra condition? It is a minimum dominating set? No, because minimum domination number already we verified. A domination number is 5. Already we verified. Gamma of G equal to 5 here. Okay. Now extra one vertex available in the set yes. So it is not a minimum dominating set, but it should satisfy our condition. So what is the name of this? What is the idea behind this? You have to see the blue color vertices which are available in the set yes, corresponding induced graph we can draw. Corresponding induced graph means here E, K, L, we can draw the graph mean one path on 3 vertices available. Here also you have to see B, O, P. Here also path on 3 vertices. This induced graph does not contain an isolated vertex. So what is the extra condition? S is a dominating set. The induced graph of S has no isolated vertex. That extra condition we are adding. That type of dominating set is called total dominating set. The corresponding or the minimum cardinality of the total dominating set is called total domination number and is denoted by gamma T of G. So total dominating set means it is a dominating set and whose induced graph has no isolated vertex. That type of dominating set is called a total dominating set, and minimum cardinality of your dominating set, total dominating set, is called total domination number. So what is the answer for the question now? Corresponding graph, we can find out the total domination number. The total dominating set with the minimum cardinality, what we have to identify the each and every vertex, we can locate the collection center. So now another one example I'm giving to you. Instead of collection center, blood collection center or sample collection center, we have to think about mobile phone tower. Same example, and I'm assuming the capacity of the mobile phone tower is 5 kilometer range, because the same example I can give here. Suppose I have one mobile phone tower in one particular place. It can receive the signal from another mobile phone tower within 5 kilometer range, and it transmits the signal within 5 kilometer range of the mobile phone. So like that. So one mobile phone tower available, it can get the signal from another mobile phone tower. So like this, and first mobile phone tower get the signal from satellite. So like these conditions available mean the same type of graph only, the same thing I'm taking, where previously where we are locating the collection center, now where we are locating the mobile phone tower. So this is a graph already we have, and gamma of G equal to 5. So this blue color vertices, suppose I locate the collection centers, means E, suppose E may be the first mobile phone tower, it is getting the signal from the satellite, and K will get the signal from E, and L will get the signal from K. How this P will get? How this B will get the signal? Otherwise, we have to fix a big one, big mobile. They're directly getting from the signal. It is expensive. So what we can do for this? Suppose I'm going for total dominating set. Now also, these three places I'm fixing the mobile phone tower mean where these three mobile phone towers get the signals. Suppose so instead of that, what I can do, extra one mobile phone tower I'm fixing here. So you have to see everyone will get the signal from other mobile phone tower and transmit the signal to another one, and people also get the service easily. So what is the name of this? It is a dominating set? Yes. Is it a total dominating set? Yes. Because the induced graph contains no isolated vertex. So, but it is not only total dominating set. Extra one vertex I am taking. What is the name of this dominating set? So you have to draw the induced graph of the set which containing blue color vertices. What we have, it is a connected graph. After drawing this, you have to see it is a single component available like this. So it is a connected graph. So this type of dominating set is called a connected dominating set. And among all the connected dominating set, which dominating set having minimum cardinality we can identify, and the corresponding minimum cardinality is called connected domination number, and is denoted by gamma C. So now what is the answer for my question? You are finding the connected domination number for the corresponding graph. So what is the connected domination number? You have to identify that number of mobile phone tower we require, and what is the minimum cardinality connected dominating set in that location we have to fix the tower. This is an example. Now opposite one, non-dominating set. What is the meaning of dominating set? We have every vertex, suppose S is a set, every vertex outside S has a neighbor in S. Has at least one neighbor. Neighbor means adjacent vertex. Every vertex outside S has a neighbor in S. Okay. So non-dominating set means at least one vertex outside S. Outside S means V minus S. V is a whole set. Okay. So V is a set of vertices. S is a subset. So at least one vertex outside S or at least one vertex in V minus S as no neighbor. No neighbor means not adjacent vertex. Okay. No neighbor in S. That type of set is called a non-dominating set. Just opposite to dominating set. Okay. So for this, I give an example. Suppose this is a graph. It containing, we have 6 vertices. It contains 6 vertices. I'm taking one vertex at S. It containing A, B, C. A, B, C. Is it a dominating set? No. Because so this F has no adjacent vertex in this S. D is adjacent to C, no problem. E is adjacent to B, no problem. But F has no neighbor in S. So S is a non-dominating set. S is a non-dominating set. Now using this, we are having one partition of the vertex set. I call this by anti-domatic partition. So vertex set is available. For this vertex set, we can find out the partition. What is the meaning of partition? We know. Each class of the partition is the non-dominating set. That partition is called anti-domatic partition. So I'm giving here definition. Let G be a graph with delta less than n minus 1. This condition is important. If delta equal to n minus 1, then this definition does not exist. So delta less than n minus 1, maximum degree is less than or equal to n minus 2. At least one, no full degree vertex here. The partition phi, which containing some k classes, V1, V2, etc., Vk of V, is called an antidomatic partition if each Vi is a non-dominating set of G. So a lot of partition we can find. One set we are having, we can find different types of partition. So a lot of partition we can find out for a given vertex set. So among these, which antidomatic partition having minimum number of classes, minimum cardinality, that number is called antidomatic number of the corresponding graph, and is denoted by d bar of g, and is denoted by d bar of g. So now we have to see this example, the same example, which contains 6 vertices A, B, C, D, E, F. V1 is one vertex that I am taking, is a subset of V. It's containing 4 vertices A, B, C, D, and V2 is containing 2 vertices E and F. It is a disjoint. V1 and V2 are disjoint. V1 union V2 equal to whole set V I am getting, so it is a partition. V1 is a non-dominating set. Is it correct? A, B, C, D I am taking. So for F, there is no adjacent vertex in V1. So it is a non-dominating set. E and F, I am taking the second set, E and F. For C and E, there is no adjacent vertex in V2. So V2 is also non-dominating set. Then pi equal to V1, V2. It is a partition, it's an antidomatic partition because V1 is a non-dominating set, V2 is a non-dominating set. So it is an antidomatic partition of this graph. So what is the antidomatic number? D bar of G. It is equal to 2 here. This symbol. Okay. So for this, I'm giving one example. Suppose we have one company, factory or company or college, anything we can take. In that company, lot of employees are available. Every year, the management want to take appraisal or performance, test the performance of the employee. So for testing the performance of the employee, we are suppose we are appointing some examiner or inspector, I can say. Suppose I'm appointing inspector, mean from the outside. It is an expensive one. We are giving the salary to them. No, it is an expense. So what company decided? The factory decided or company college decided. So among the employee, they are appointing some person as an inspector. That inspector will test. So inspector is the one among the employee. So suppose I am inspector, means I am testing some people. Another one inspector tests me like that. Okay. So he is testing or she is testing my performance. I am testing another people's performance. Like that, how many inspector required? We can identify. Like that, how many inspector required? But before that, we have one problem. Suppose I am an inspector of one particular group. Some people are my friends. Some people are not my friend. Not only not my friend, they are enemies to me. Then what is the problem I have? My friend, suppose he is not working properly, his performance is very poor, even though because of he is my friend, I am giving more mark, good report to him. And in my group, some enemies are there for me because they are enemy, even though they are working well, their performance is well. But what is my report? Because they are enemy, I am giving the poor report to them. So we have to avoid this situation. So the inspector should be unbiased. Suppose I have one group, I am an inspector of the group, means that group contains no of my friends, no of my enemies, no my enemies. So none of my friends are available in that group and none of my enemies are also available in that group. So like that, we have to fix the inspector, how many inspector required. So for this question, the non-dominating set and antidomatic partition will help us. Okay, so I'm giving one small example here. So it containing some 10 people. So 10 employees are available. What is the meaning of this table? A and B. I'm giving Y. Y mean it is A and B are biased. They may be friend or they may be enemies. Biased. Okay. So A and B are biased. A and C. What is the meaning of A and C? I put dash. Dash means they are neither enemy nor friend. A and D are maybe friend or enemies, like that. So easily we can identify those who are friend or those who are non-friend. Easily we can identify. Now using this, we can draw the graph. How we are drawing the graph? There are 10 people available. So this is a discrete set. We can fix the 10 vertices. And what is the relation? So I am a person and another one person means if we two are biased, it is a relation. We two are biased, then we can join by an edge. Biased means another person may be friend or may be enemy. If B is a enemy of A, then A and B vertex corresponding vertices are adjacent. A and B are friends, also adjacent. Okay, so using this table, I can draw the graph. So graph is like this. So for this graph, I can find out the antidometic partition, the antidometic number with the minimum cardinality. So what are the non-dominating set available here from this example in the above graph? V1, first one, with containing A, B, C, D, E, and I. A, B, C, D, E, I. You have to see A, B, C, D, E, and I. Is it a dominating set? Because you got this G. G is non-adjacent with A, I, B, C, D, and E. Okay, so this first V vertex V1 is non-dominating set because outside V1, G is the vertex available, has no neighbor in V1. Similarly, you have to see V2. V2 contain G, H, J, and F. G, H, J, and F. You have to see G, H, J, and F. This vertices I am selecting in V2. Because you have to see the vertex A is non-adjacent with J, A is not adjacent with H, A is not adjacent with F, A is not adjacent with E. So the second vertex V2, vertex at V2 is also a non-dominating set. So V1 and V2 are non-dominating set, and there is no common vertex available in V1 and V2. And what is the union of V1 and V2? It is a whole set V we are getting. So the partition phi V1 comma V2, it is a partition first, and V1 and V2 are non-dominating sets, and hence it is a antidomatic partition. And what is the cardinality? It is a 2. What is the cardinality? 2. So D bar is equal to 2. So how many inspector we require? How many inspector we required? Only 2 inspector we required. And who are the inspector? Suppose you have to see in the example, the vertex A. The vertex A is non-adjacent with all the vertices in the vertex V2, the vertex at V2. So A is the inspector. A is the inspector. A is testing the performance of the employees available in the vertex. So A is the inspector of the vertex V2 group. Similarly, G is non-adjacent. You have to see, already I explained that G is non-adjacent with the vertices available in the vertex set 1. Vertices available in the vertex set 1, V1. So G is the inspector. G is the inspector of the employees, those who are available in the vertex set 1. So 2 inspector required is sufficient. A is one inspector, G is another one inspector. These 2 are satisfying our question. These 2 are satisfying our question. Okay. So another example we have, Mr. Yuvraj.
Sir, good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. Yeah, you can continue for 5 or 10 minutes, sir.
Okay, another one example I can.
Another 5. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Oh, okay, sir.
So this is one example. I have to see. This is one country map we have to consider. Just I am drawing that. So this problem basically coming from the Roman Emperor time period. The Roman emperor decide his country and safeguard his country from the enemies, and he want to fix the forces in each and every region. At the same time, if all the region we are fixing the forces, army station, forces mean army station, we are keeping the army station in each and every region, mean it is more expensive. So he want to minimize the number of army stations, but each and every region will be safeguarded from the enemies. So suppose one region contain or has no army station, then it is easily attacked by enemies. So in that case, what he decided, at least one adjacent region should have 2 army stations, 2 group of battalions, 2 group of forces. So like that, if we are keeping the forces like this, how many army stations required? It is a question from the Roman emperor. So, but I'm not taking the same graph, same map. I'm keeping one map here. We are considering this is one country map, and I divide this by regions. There are 9 regions available. There are 9 regions available. In each and every region, we are fixing the army station, means we need 9 army station we require. But we have to minimize it. At the same time, suppose one region has no army station, means at least one adjacent region should have 2 army stations or safeguarding this. So like that. So for this, what we have to do? Here regions, 9 regions are available. These 9 regions, I have to make a set of 9 regions. So it is a discrete set. And what is the relation here? 2 regions, they are adjacent. So first region you have to see this, and these are adjacent, mean it is related. So first region, and here I am taking first one and this side one and another one. There is no adjacent, it is not adjacent, mean not related. So this is the relation we have. So in this case, we have to draw the graph. So 9 vertices we have to plot. One vertex corresponding to one region, state. Another one vertex corresponding to another state or region. These 2 are adjacent region in the map, then this to be joined by an edge. This is the condition. So using this condition, I am drawing the graph like this for this example. Now, where we have to keep the army station or forces. So first condition you have to see the vertex V9. The vertex V9 you have to know corresponding to this region, separate region. So the vertex V9 is isolated vertex. So compulsory we have to fix the army station in that place. Vertex V9. So I'm giving army station, I'm allotting 1. Now remaining we can assign the army station different ways. So we can assign either 0 mean no army station, assign 1 mean only 1 army station, or assigning 2 mean 2 army stations. So like that we are going to assign that. So where we are assigning 2, you have to see in the vertex V2 corresponding region, you have to think about that. In the vertex V2, I'm fixing 2 army stations. Then the vertex V1, no need army station because adjacent vertex having, the adjacent region having 2 army station. The vertex V3 or the region V3, no need the army station because the adjacent region having 2 army station. And V4, no need the army station. So this V1 I assign 0, V3 I can assign 0, and V4 I can assign 0. So V1 there is no army station, V3 there is no army station, V4 there is no army station. V5 we need the army station, we got to think about that. There is no relation here. V2 and V5 are non-adjacent, so we cannot say that. So remaining we have to say what we have to allot. What we have to allot. So now in V6, I'm assigning 2. If I'm assigning 2 army stations in the region corresponding to V6. The region V5, no need army station. The region V7, no need. The region V8, no need. So these places, no need the army station. So what we are having, how many army stations are, how many places required? So we need only 5. There are 9 regions are available. Even though we are having extra army station in some places, how many army stations required? 5 army stations required in this country. It is enough for this safeguarding the country. So this concept is called, because it is starting from Roman Emperor problem. So this concept is called Roman domination in graph. So what is the meaning of Roman domination? So first we have to think about, we are assigning the numbers for the vertices, assigning the number 0 or assigning number 1 or 2. So we are assigning the numbers. So we call this by a function. Assigning is a function. So Roman domination function, Roman dominating function of a particular graph. It is a function from vertex to what are the number we are assigning? 0, 1 or 2. So any one of these 3 number only we can assign. So our goal domain is the set containing 3 vertices 0, 1. But what is the condition we need? Each and every vertex we are assigning the number 0, 1, 2. Suppose one vertex we are assigning the number 0 means at least one adjacent vertex we have to assign number 2. This is only the condition. So they are giving like the definition of the Roman dominating function. A Roman dominating function on a graph G is a function f from the vertex set V to the set of numbers 0, 1, 2, satisfying the condition that every vertex U for which f of U equal to 0 is adjacent to at least one vertex V for which f of V equal to 2. Only 0 and 2 we are considering. 1, if it is necessary, we can assign 1. So sum of all I call assigning the number no. So for one vertex I assign, suppose for this vertex V9, assign the number 1. So what I can say, the weight of the vertex V9 is 1. What is the weight of the vertex V1? It is 0. What is the weight of the vertex V2? It is 2. Like that. Okay, so weight of all the vertices I can find out, then add it. It is called weight of the graph. So a lot of assignment we can do. So among this, which assignment having the minimum weight? It is called the Roman domination number. So what is the answer for the question? The corresponding graph, the map is given, the country map. So we are converting into the graph. So corresponding graph, we can find out the Roman domination number. So that number is the minimum requirement of the army station. It's a Roman domination number. Using this, suppose I have yes, Roman domination. Another one. Suppose we have the some sensitive places. For example, I'm giving, but I cannot draw. I think here. Suppose I can say, you can follow it. Suppose we have the on the top of India, we have the state Kashmir. Kashmir is adjacent with the state Himachal Pradesh. The Himachal Pradesh is adjacent with the state Punjab and Uttarakhand. So now we have to imagine the graph. It is a graph, Himachal Pradesh, the corresponding vertex in the middle. It is adjacent with the vertex corresponding to the Kashmir. It is adjacent with the vertex corresponding to Punjab. It is adjacent with the vertex corresponding to Uttarakhand. So the middle vertex for Himachal Pradesh, we can assign 2 army stations, and remaining all the places we can assign 0 army stations. Is it acceptable? I'm asking. It is a practical one. According to Roman domination number, 2 army stations is sufficient for this example. Kashmir, no need army station. And Punjab, no need. Uttarakhand, no need. Only Himachal Pradesh, we need 2, according to their idea. Is it acceptable? Mean Kashmir is a sensitive place. We need compulsory army station in Kashmir. So from this concept, I extended. It is called S Roman domination in graph. So S is a set of vertices. I call this by sensitive set, corresponding to sensitive region. I have to select the sensitive set. So S is a set of vertex. It is not a dominating set. S is a set of vertices. I call this by sensitive set. So in this, we have to define Roman domination function with small change. What is the Roman domination function? F is a function from V to 0, 1, 2. Ever a vertex assigned 0 will be adjacent with a vertex assigned 2. Only that is a condition in Roman domination function. But here, extra one condition I included. The vertex available in X, yes. The vertex available in S, because already I defined S is a sensitive set. The vertex available in S should have weight at least 1. So extra one condition I included. This type of Roman domination is called S Roman domination. And the minimum weight of this function I can identify. It is called S Roman domination function and is denoted by this notation. Okay. So some example I'm giving to you, and lot of example we can identify. In this time I'm giving some example, and thank you very much for your patience.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. From the chat box, we identify that there are 2 questions. First question is, what is the meaning of underlying graph, sir? Seth Brumi, sir, has asked this.
Yes, sir. What is underlying graph is nothing. Suppose we have one directed graph. The graph is a director. Already I gave the example now. Here you have to see this. I'm giving the example directed graph. This is a directed graph. Okay. So the same graph without the direction we can draw that. That is the underlying graph of the directed graph. So already we have the directed graph at diagram. So each and every vertices are directed. So now we have to remove the arrows. Instead of arrows, only edge we can draw with the same, without direction. That graph is called the underlying graph of this graph.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for your nice explanations. The next question is from the chat box. What is the meaning of strong graphs? What is the meaning of strong graph, sir?
Strong graph?
Yes, sir.
Up to now, strong domination like that we have. Strong graph in basic concept it is not available. Some papers they may introduce. I'm not aware of that.
Okay, sir. Next question from chat box. What is meant by fuzzy graph? How it differs from graph?
So using the fuzzy relation, so fuzzy is a relation, no. So instead of here, fuzzy set available, using that fuzzy relation, we can draw the graph. I am giving example. So I am giving some example for some relation. So immediately same idea in fuzzy also we are having fuzzy relation. Using that fuzzy relation, we can draw the graph. The corresponding graph is called fuzzy graph.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Next question is from the same chat box. The concepts of S domination and secure domination difference.
What is S domination? What I am saying is Roman domination.
I think Angel ma'am. Angel ma'am.
Okay, no problem. Secure domination is a different. Okay, what is S domination? Maybe. Yeah, secure domination means at least one vertex outside we have no. Outside yes. Okay, outside yes, every vertex having at least one adjacent vertex in yes. It is a dominating set. Suppose I am taking one vertex from yes outside. Instead of that, I can include another vertex yes. Then it is a dominating set. If it is there, then it is called a secure dominating set. What is S domination? Maybe somebody, lot of domination, nearly 1,000 number of dominations are available nowadays. Every place we are introducing the domination. So yes domination, what is yes domination? Secure domination we know. Suppose S is a dominating set. Outside yes we are having some vertices. So inside yes also some we are having some vertices. So any vertex in yes you have to take out. Instead of that, we can identify another one vertex outside. We can keep in yes. One vertex taking out and one vertex keeping inside yes. Still yes is a dominating set. Then it is called secure dominating set.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Next question is from chat box. Why we give negative values for the vertex using functions? Why we give negative values for the vertex?
Where? I'm not getting you right. Where? Hello.
Sir, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, yes, yes.
Sir, the question is why we give negative values for the vertex using functions, sir?
That is according to requirement. I already said, what is my requirement? According to that, we have to fix the graph. Okay, already I gave some example for domination, total domination. According to my requirement, I'm giving the graph. So according to their requirement, they need, and in the Roman domination number, according to the king of Roman emperor requirements, we are assigned the number 0, 1, 2. And according to the India condition, I can assign extra condition. So what is the requirement? What is your problem? According to that, you can decide the number plus number or minus number, sometimes fraction also. So according to the real-time problem, what is your requirement you have to fill, you have to decide. So you can give plus number or minus number. This is my explanation.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Your presentation is very useful and more informative, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sir, thank you, sir. Shonan, sir, I'm Yuvraj, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, thank you so much. It's a very crystal clear explanation, sir. Even I am not in the part of the research, and even it was very interesting, sir. I learned many things from the graph theory, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Vijay. Welcome.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the opportunity, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Bye, sir. Only, sir.
Yes, but yeah.
Just participants information, sir. Tomorrow the session will be.
So tomorrow the session will start at 11:30, the same time, 11:30 to 12:30. When you attend the sessions, kindly mute yourself and stop videos. We'll meet tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all the participants. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all.
Thank you.